Dragon Ball Z Kai. Awesome. Okay, great. Yeah. There are no flaws in it whatsoever, even beyond the ones we found. It's a perfect show. I'm in it. Well, it's awesome. I hope there aren't any questions.
You play fewer characters this time.
I do play fewer characters. It only makes sense. Because when, it's not very often you get a chance to do something you did like 10 years ago again. And you're older and actually more responsible and not in college. And it's been pretty awesome. Like back when I worked on Dragon Ball Z the first time, there were 11 people on the cast list. Like 6 of them were girls. 2 of them were semi-straight. And that was about it. Like, if it wasn't Goku, or like Sean had a high voice, and Sonny, the voice of Krillin, had a high voice, and Justin had a high voice, I was the only guy with a low voice. So anytime there was a low voice character, the producer was like, "You got yourself into the bar." It's still the case. It's kind of cool. All right, so I actually don't think the focus in general needs to be Kai, right?
We can start at the beginning, which is basically as soon as Dragon Ball Z Kai started, coming around Japan, a lot of excitement started coming around Funimation, and we got real excited about it. And one of the first things that happened was Chris coming to me and well, so what are we going to do at this time, And at that point is when John Durkmeyer and Chris Abbott and myself started meeting with the marketing department at Funimation and everyone else, and then we started kind of trying to set the parameters of this version of Dragon Ball Z. And what was great was we got full support from Funimation to completely go back, start from scratch, retranslate, rewrite, stay close to the translation, not worrying so much about, and I think Sean will probably talk about this in a second.
Yes, I will.
But not being so obsessed with trying to localize it in some kind of way or another. And so to be able to go through and even, I don't know if some of you have noticed on the DVD release, we're keeping a lot of the actual original Japanese attack names for things. And so it's a much more of a purist approach. But, and again, I think Sean's going to talk a little bit more about this, but it's so great how close we're able to keep to the original as opposed to drifting off basis.
Because at the start, we wanted to, it was important that Dragon Ball is treated correctly, but at the same time, it was also going to be put on TV. So there were a lot of, not debates, but rather discussions of, well, how do you handle it? There's this massive population of people who grew up on Dragon Ball Z in a certain way, and I'd say half of those people wouldn't even know that it was right or wrong. They wouldn't know what the story was. But it became an overwhelming decision that we absolutely had to go with what the original Japanese translation was. It was kind of a test and kind of a gamble in some ways to see if we could just put this show on the air and not have to change everything to make it popular. And I think it's worked. It's apparently doing pretty well. You guys are here. Yeah. And you're not mad.
I haven't had one rotten apple moment without other people.
Man, back in the early 2000s when we had first made Dragon Ball Z and I go to conventions, I'm telling you, there was an absence of love. Let me put it, to put it lightly. Like there were people who did not like us at all back then. They're like, why are you changing the music? Why is Yamcha cool? Everyone had a problem with everything with it, but it seems like I'm getting much more positive feedback this time around than it's been on.
Before I talk about Dragon Ball Z Kai, there's one thing that I've done a lot of these conventions over the last 10 years, and my first Comic-Con was in 2000. And we work in the booth a lot, and I'm not a theater actor per se, so I just want to take a moment to take all of you guys in and say how much I appreciate everyone being here, and just just kind of be with you guys, kind of like the Avatar thing. I see you guys, So I never really do that because I tend to lead with comedy, and I tend to lead with being goofy. And after 10 years of doing this, I can't tell you how radically the archetype of Goku has changed my life personally. I'm really grateful to Akira Toriyama and to all of you. And Chris knows my history really well, so he knows the radical transformation that has happened for me in my life growing up, Goku, so to speak.